Okay, so welcome to a new video, and I'm going to be doing something slightly different in today's video as I'm currently cat sitting two very beautiful cats, and just like any YouTuber looking for additional watch time, why not throw some cats in there as well? So these two guys are going to be joining us for this video. And before I start, since we're approaching the end of the year and Christmas and Black Friday and all these good times, just to make things a little bit more interesting here, I'm going to be giving away a few copies of my KDP course for free. The course is going to be given to free to anyone that can come up with good names for the two cats that are featured in this video. So just leave your name suggestions in the comments below and I'll reply to you there. Okay, so also very quickly before we start, I've got some very exciting and awesome videos coming up regarding Helium 10. So a lot of people have been asking me lately how to use Helium 10 for KDP. So I've been using Helium 10 for around 8 months now, and I finally feel like I'm actually ready to start making videos on Helium 10 and how it can enhance your publishing business. I know a lot of people will promote Helium 10 but rarely actually show you how it can benefit you. So in these upcoming videos, I'm going to show you how you can use Helium 10 to do things like your keyword research, how it's going to help you create your book titles, how you can find hidden keywords, hidden niches, how to run profitable ads, and much more. And I'm actually in touch with people that work for Helium 10. So the information that I'm going to be giving you is top information that you probably haven't even heard before. And honestly, these videos are going to be absolutely awesome because Helium 10 has just so many tools that are going to help you grow your publishing business. So if you're interested in those type of videos and you can't wait to see them and how it can benefit your business, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and you do the notification bells and all those things so you get alerted as soon as these videos come out. And also this month, if you're interested in Helium 10, there is the possibility that you're going to be able to get yourself some pretty awesome discounts with Helium 10 this month and at the start of next month. I'm not going to say much more on that at the moment, but stay tuned if Helium 10 is something that you're interested in. And I think you're going to be extremely impressed by these videos and what Helium 10 has to offer, okay? Okay, so let's start this video and talk about what's going to be the death of Amazon KDP for many publishers toward this year and going into next year as well. And this is going to be my last kind of pep talk video for this year. Every video from here on after this video here is going to be much more actionable, but I think this is going to be extremely important information going into 2022. And I do believe if you watch this video, you're going to be extremely motivated come the end of it and excited to build your publishing business in 2022. Okay, so as I go through this video, I'm going to talk about the problem and I'm going to go ahead and talk about the solution for that problem. So we're going to be talking about 4 or 5 different problems, and then we're going to be looking at the solution for each of those problems. Okay, so the first problem that we have here is fear. So recently, a pretty well-known publisher, I think it was Jade Summer to be exact, had their KDP account terminated. Most people have heard of this by now. And the general feel here was that if a bigger independent publisher can get their account terminated, then I've got absolutely no chance. So what's the point in me carrying on publishing if I'm just going to get terminated at some point? And we hear about accounts being terminated pretty much every day now. We hear that there's going to be a wave of account terminations because Amazon must hate independent publishers, right? They must hate the people that they designed this platform for. Well, the funny thing here is when you hear about accounts being terminated, you see that these people who have their accounts terminated, they swear blind that they've had no prior warnings, they've done nothing wrong, etc., etc. Now, I don't necessarily believe this. I don't believe that Amazon just terminates accounts just because. I do feel like a lot of people fly way too close to the sun and end up getting burnt in a lot of cases here. And even though most of us will never really know why another person's had their account terminated, you can assume that these people were going against the rules, Amazon's rules. And this has led to a lot of people being scared to pursue publishing because of this. But if it gives you any sort of motivation, I've had my publishing account active for 10 years now, and I've only had one very minor issue with my account, and that's because I play by the rules. And while you're never truly going to be 100% safe from anything like this happening to you, you can massively reduce the risk of this by playing fair. Okay, so the solution is your brain. Okay, so one of the big things here that you need to look out for is trademarks. And no matter what book you upload, no matter how safe that you think that the words are that you're using in your title and your listing in general, always check for trademarks, no matter what. Just do it and do exactly what I'm about to show you. Go ahead and go over to Google and do this and type in the following: USPTO trademark search. Type that into Google. Every time you make a new book and you're not quite sure about the words that you're going to be using in your title or on the front cover of your book, type that into Google, scroll down, come to USPTO, the search trademark database here. That's going to bring you to this website here. Come over to here and click search on trademark database, and then come over to this top option here, which is basic word mark search. Then once you're on this page here, you click on the live option here because we only want to see the trademarks that are currently live, and then search for the words that you're not sure about. Okay, let's do this together and do a quick example. Christmas coloring is one that people seem to be concerned about at the moment. We're going to type that in and we're going to click on submit query. Okay, so one mistake that I think people are actually making here, and again, I can't give you any kind of legal advice, this is just my opinion, is when they see something like this here, Christmas coloring, and they see that it comes up and it's trademarked apparently. If you come across to this option, this button here that says TSDR, click on that. And then you can come to this page here about the status of this trademark and see what's actually happening with it and what goods and services it's actually going to be trademarked for. So first and foremost, you can see if you read through this, you can see the status here is that the applicant's response to a non-final office action has been entered. The application is being returned to the examining attorney for further review. Okay, so this trademark, from what I'm understanding here, and someone could correct me in the comments if they like, but it looks like this trademark, trying to trademark Christmas coloring, is in review, as it says here, under examination. So that doesn't mean that it's been trademarked. And with this also, you need to be aware what goods and services it's being trademarked for. So you can come down to this section, goods and services, and click that. And the one that we're concerned about is going to be class 16, okay? So I believe that class 16, I'm not going to check it right now, is for usage on paper material, i.e. books. And that's what they're trying to do here with this trademark. They're trying to get it trademarked for usage on paper material like books. So in this case, it hasn't been trademarked from what I can see. And I would be absolutely amazed if it was accepted. Christmas coloring, if that gets trademarked, if any words like that get trademarked, then I'm going to call it a day with KDP, because it's going to get to the point where it's absolutely ridiculous. But honestly, I just don't see it happening. But again, you don't know what's going to happen, so you do always need to do your checks on trademarks, okay? Okay, so that's it. Always do your trademark checks, no matter what you can have as your title for your book, which leads me on to the next point here in the solution section for using your brain, which is to not be stupid. I know it sounds a little bit harsh, but when it comes to things like Disney and Marvel and Fortnite and Minecraft and things like this, all these things, all these big companies, you need to steer well clear of them. And the mistake that a lot of people make here is that if we just look on Amazon here and we type in Disney logbook, what we can see on Amazon is that people are getting away with uploading these type of books. So we have something from Disney here on an independently published book on the front cover, okay? And what we can see is that people are getting away with this type of book. And I can understand why people get drawn into making this mistake, because if we come over to Amazon and we type in Fortnite coloring book. So if you don't know what Fortnite is, it's probably, I guess, one of the biggest games ever made, and it's, heavily trademarked. It's a huge trillion-dollar company. I don't know what it is, maybe not trillion, but it's absolutely huge, made by Epic Games. And what we have here is independent publishers are creating things like coloring books. And as we can see, nothing's happening because these books are all live. They're all from independent publishers, or a lot of them are from independent publishers here, and they're getting away with it. So what happens is once people see that other people are getting away with it, then they try and do it themselves as well. And that's just a huge mistake. Don't think just because someone else is doing it that gives you the right to do that type of book as well. So just steer well clear of anything that you're aware of, anything that's famous, any kind of brand. Steer well clear. Just use your brain and don't take inspiration from these books. Don't copy their designs. Don't include images of any type of these books inside of your books. Don't use them in your description. Don't use them in your keywords. Don't use them in your 7 keyword backend slots either. Just don't do it. There are plenty of other opportunities out there. And while these people are probably making a lot of money from doing these type of books, you wonder how long it's going to last for them. And we're looking at building a business and being able to maintain this business for a long time. Because if you lose your Amazon account, there's a good chance that you're never going to get it back again. And honestly, I'm just scrolling through here for the first time looking at these Fortnite books, and I'm genuinely amazed at how many type of books and how long they've been on Amazon for that they actually exist here. So if we come back over to our USPTO.gov trademark check, let's just type in Fortnite and see what it's got trademark for it. Okay, so look at all these different trademarks here for Fortnite. And let's just check one of them. Okay, so let's check this one here for Fortnite. The trademark application has been registered with the office. It's registered, etc., etc. We can see what type of goods it's been registered for as well. So this one is registered on the class 9, but I can guarantee one of these here, one of these trademarks for Fortnite is going to be on books or paper products or the class 16, whichever it is going to be there 100%. I'm not going to go through all of them now and check it. In fact, there it is there. It's on this one here, okay? But there it is. Don't go near these type of things. It's amazing how many people still think this is okay. Just don't do it. Okay, so also within this first solution of using your brain, we have to not mislead your customers in any way whatsoever. You need to present your book exactly as it's intended to be presented to your customer. You need to be always crystal clear with what they're going to be buying. Don't try and put your books into irrelevant categories, for example, or don't basically just tell lies about what's actually going to be inside your book. So for example, don't tell your customers that they're going to get 100 pages of coloring when all you have is one page repeated over and over and over. Okay, so that also moves me on quickly to creating same interior books with different covers. Now people get away with this, and there is a gray area on Amazon, I suppose, here. And the assumption here is that we're doing something like a blank notebook. Then people primarily buy it because of its cover. So multiple covers make sense here. I'm never going to do this. I've not really pursued this in the past, and it's not something that I actively recommend. But I understand that it does make sense. Now, does that mean that Amazon allows that, technically allows that to happen? I'm not so sure. But when it comes to things like slightly higher content books, like activity books and coloring books, then you want to avoid doing it at all costs. And I don't want to call anyone out here on Amazon, because some people just don't understand that this is offering a bad customer experience. If we check out this author here, for example, they have these pastel goth coloring books. And if we just check what they have on the back here, three-eyed unicorn and some other nasty looking rabbits and stuff. Let's see if their other books have the same as well. Three-eyed unicorn, nasty looking rabbits. Three-eyed unicorn and nasty looking rabbit as well. So what this person is doing, they are creating these coloring books and they're uploading the same interior, but they're changing the cover slightly for each book so they have more and more listings out there. So Amazon is all about their customer and their customer's experience. So if you imagine that people are buying this book here, for example, and then they want another pastel goth coloring book from this person, and they want another one and another one and another one, end up buying 4 different books from the same person, and they find out that they get the same interior for every single book that they've bought, they're going to be very, very unhappy. And like I say, Amazon loves keeping their customers happy. And if that is at the expense of your account, your Amazon KDP account, then so be it. And of course, if you were to come onto here, you don't typically buy a coloring book because of what you have on the front. Well, maybe you do, but if you buy multiple coloring books, then you almost definitely expect to get a different interior inside. Well, I certainly would. Okay, that moves me on to another quick point here, which is to regularly check the email that you use to sign up to KDP, okay? Because sometimes they may require a response from you, and if you don't reply, that could be the end of your account. So always keep checking. In fact, I check the email that I use for my publishing account every single day, okay? So I highly recommend that you do that as well, or at least every other day, just to be safe. Okay, so that's the first problem. That's fear, and this is something that we're always going to have. I have it myself when I publish anything. I'm still worried about books that I've published in the past. There's always going to be some sort of risk involved because this is Amazon's business. It's not yours. The platform belongs to them. It doesn't belong to you. They can do whatever they want to you. But if we play safe, then we can massively reduce the risk of anything bad happening to our accounts. Okay, so this moves me on to the next problem, which is following money-making trends. So bear with me on this one because I think this one is a big deal, especially with publishing. So every time a new money-making opportunity comes about, There is this period where things are just easier to make money, and that's a fact. And that is right at the start of that opportunity. There's this period where if you hit the trend early, you can upload shit and still make money. Low content publishing is a prime example of this. There was a period, and that period has now long gone, where you could upload low quality books and make sales. And with these golden goose opportunities spawns popularity through word of mouth on YouTube, on forums, and pretty much all over the internet where people are looking to make money. Once an easy money-making opportunity presents itself, whether you like it or not, it's going to gain traction and a boatload of competition because it's easy. Now, if you're joining into a trend basically like low-content book publishing, and when you finally get on board after hearing how easy it is, it's going to be too late. You've missed the opportunity to make money with no effort. And that's what people were doing when this opportunity first presented itself. They could make money by making very little effort. And to give you an example here, this happened back in 2013 possibly, I was uploading these type of romantic ebooks. So not paperback books, we're talking ebooks here. And they were kind of just like cowboy romances, Christian romances, mail order bride romances. And I promise you that all anyone needed to do at that point was to just upload any type of romance story that hits like a kind of niche like cowboy or Western romance or mail order bride romance, or anything that was even remotely similar to 50 Shades of Grey. If you uploaded a book that had that type of content in it back then, you would have made money, and you would have made money so easily as well. But if you upload this type of book now, I can promise you it's going to be 1,000 times harder than what it was back in 2013, 2014, or whenever it was popular. So with low content book publishing, you can assume that you have now, especially in 2021 and 2022, you can assume that you have missed this opportunity to upload poor quality work and still make money. And that's just great in my opinion. Wouldn't you rather go forward with a different mentality, treating publishing like a business and not some sort of cash cow that you need to milk as soon as possible? Because if you get the fundamentals right of selling things, you won't ever have to keep looking for these opportunities, and you'll start creating your own, be that with publishing or other areas online. So let's talk about what the solution here is. So for me, I like to have a sort of fundamental plan set in stone, a kind of fundamental mentality going forward with anything that I do online. And that revolves around actually thinking about what my audience or customer wants, not what I think that they should want. So if you get these kind of trends that come around every now and then, like low content book publishing, and you happen to be early into that, then why not pursue it? But also keeping your core plan going. So my solution here is to not desperately follow these trends, but it is to just continue producing good books that customers actually want and be able to make sales from Amazon for many years to come, instead of getting caught up in these low effort trends. So if anyone at all watched my $75,000 KDP journey, you will see that back in 2019, possibly 2020, I can't remember, 2019, I think, I was doing this. I was uploading these low content books because I heard that it was a great opportunity to make easy money. I got caught up in this and the results were absolutely terrible. And now that we're approaching 2022, don't you think it's going to be even harder than it was before? And possibly even riskier as well. Which leads me on to the problem, which is generic low content books. So with these money making opportunities comes a ton of competition because everyone knows about this now. And for low content books, you can make them for free and you can make them with very little thought. And while I believe that there is still definitely a place for these type of books, I'm talking your typical super low content books like notebooks and journals and planners and things like that, there is just so much competition with these books. And finding niches is easy, creating books is easy, and Amazon hasn't really clamped down on low content book spammers either yet. So this does lead us to the fact that creating generic low content books is getting harder and harder and harder to make organic sales with. So the solution here is to, in my opinion, pursue higher content books that are harder to make, or niche down. So for example, most of my sales this month are coming from a small amount of coloring books that I've been working on recently. And this for me is 100 times more rewarding than producing 1,000 or 2,000 low content books, just hoping that some are going to make some sales. So maybe a guy that's got 1,000 low content books will outsell my 10 coloring books. But the thing here is that I value my time, I value my Amazon account and the customer's experience within that as well. So for me, producing books that are typically harder and take longer to make is my solution here. And also trying to compete in markets that are slightly more competitive. And I'm not talking about things that are crazy broad like coloring books, but things like flower coloring books for kids. Competitive markets, but they're not too broad to the point where a book gets lost or you don't know who your target audience actually is. So pursuing this type of book, a book that is harder to make or takes longer to make, is typically going to cost you some money unless you have the skills that yourself that can actually create these type of books, which more than likely you don't. So you need money, or you're going to end up producing something that's a ton of rubbish and won't actually get seen by anyone. So we're talking about having money for someone that's going to create a nice looking interior and possibly run ads to your books as well. So that's the first part of the solution here, is that we can go after these books that are harder to make, therefore the competition is going to be less. And then we have the solution for people that are just starting with publishing or people that don't have much money. And the solution for these people is that you need to niche down and really target a certain audience within a certain niche. So for example, instead of having something like a typical hiking logbook, how about you target people that are looking for funny hiking logbooks? And I don't mean using funny hiking logbooks as your keyword phrase. I mean actually creating a unique and funny hiking logbook that has never been seen before on Amazon. So I have a few videos about this where I had most of my success with low content books by putting these kind of unique spins on these books. And what I found with them was that the chance of these making sales was much higher than just producing really generic low content books. And alongside of that, if you feel like you can't offer someone something unique on your front cover, something funny, something witty or rude or whatever speaks to that target audience that makes your book different, you can start thinking about niching down very specifically. So for example, here we have hiking logbook. So if you want to niche down there, you can look at things like hiking logbook for women, hiking logbook for kids, and then pursue things from there instead, thus reducing the competition in this niche. Okay, and so just to keep you excited for Helium 10 videos that are coming out, if you're really interested in pursuing these super low content books still, I'm going to be showing you ways that you can use Helium 10 to really niche down and find these keywords that have less competition but still have traffic going to them and are still making sales. Okay, so this is going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to show this off to you. I've got a load of really awesome keyword and niche tools that I'm going to be showing you in the next video that's really going to inspire you for your publishing business in 2022 and beyond. Okay, so this is not me saying that low content books are absolutely awful and you shouldn't pursue them. Generic low content books don't work, because there's still a place for them. I think they're fantastic to pursue if you don't have much money and you're looking to familiarize yourself with a platform and gain some confidence when it actually comes to publishing your book. But I really, really do believe that you have to niche down or do something unique with your book cover in order to stand out in these niches, okay? Okay, so that moves on to the next problem, which is getting hyped by niche videos. So this might be a little bit rich coming from me, someone that makes clickbaity videos, but videos on YouTube that claim to make X amount per month when publishing in certain niches, you need to take these videos with a pinch of salt. Like honestly, if a video is posted saying that a niche can make you $10,000 per month, do you really think that you stand any chance whatsoever of making that type of money? Obviously not. YouTube is primarily an entertainment portal that is used by people that want to grow their own businesses, and clickbait videos like this are a great way to gain views and therefore more revenue. So it makes sense for people to do it, but you need to be aware that these type of videos only really mean that someone or some people, not you, are making good money with those niches, which means that there is a good amount of buyer traffic going to them. So you do stand some chance or a higher chance of making sales in those niches. But even then, your success will ultimately be determined by your book cover, your title, your description, and most of all, whether your book is a good match for your customer that is looking for that type of book. And I can tell you now, if I had a hidden niche that was making me $10,000 per month, I wouldn't be sharing it, and I don't think many people would either. So the solution here is to find your own niches or to differentiate. So whether we like them or not, with these niche videos comes a ton of competition. These type of videos, typically they get a lot of views, and that's why people make them. Now, I always used to preach before that these videos are fine, and I even made plenty of these videos myself. But as a channel grows, when a video like this is released, so is the exposure to that niche, thus making it hard to compete in. So in my opinion, while I think that these type of videos are fine and they can give hesitant people a really solid direction to niches that have traffic going to them, I think you're better off learning how to find your own niche, because honestly, I do think it is one of the easiest parts of publishing, especially if you have the right tools or the right mindset. But we've been led to believe that the only way to make sales on KDP now is to find these ultra hidden niches, and we need to be told what these ultra hidden niches are. But once videos like this get released, then they're not hidden anymore, so what's the point? And so if these niches, the ones that are getting shown off and do have a lot of views going to them and a lot of competition, if you're going to create in these niches, then I honestly think that you do need to differentiate your book somehow. No matter what the niche is, I think you need to offer more than the bog standard amount that's being offered, because a lot of people are going to produce these type of books and they're going to make minimal effort. But if you go above and beyond, then your book is going to be the one that stands out. And especially if you run ads to that book as well, then you're going to have even more chances of making sales. So niche videos in that sense are pretty handy because they do give people some direction, but you still need to make the effort in standing out or differentiating. But in my opinion, I just think that everyone's long-term goal, and obviously it's not for me to tell you what your long-term goal is, but I think it should be to become completely self-reliant and not have to rely on niche videos or hot keyword videos that serve a better purpose for the person that uploads them than yourself. Again, I'm not ragging on any YouTuber or anyone that uploads this type of video, because I do believe genuinely that the YouTube KDP scene is one of the most honest, one of the most awesome, and one of the most helpful scenes out there, with so many great channels, new and old. But of course, you just need to be aware that most YouTubers, including myself, want views as well as helping others as well. And I hope on this channel, I'm striking the balance just right.
Okay, so here's a super quick KDP tip. Now, if you're using Canva to put your book together, or you're actually creating your entire book inside of Canva, then you know that Canva has a page limit of 100 pages. So if you want to create an interior with more than 100 pages, all you need to do
Okay, so that moves me on to the next problem, which is you. Now, I mean this in the nicest way possible, but it is a reality that we have to face sometimes, that we might just be doing something wrong, or we might be doing it badly. And I understand that no one wants to hear this, and everyone's situation in life is different. A lot of us don't sit at home and just work on their publishing business 24/7 and have other factors in life, like actually working a job and having a family and things like that. And it really sucks to hear someone say to you that you're doing something bad when you don't have the time to put 100% of your effort into it. But regardless of this, I still think you need to take a look at, specifically for publishing, for the number of books that you've been uploading, and gauge your success from that. So we kind of have this never give up mentality that's plastered all over our screens on the internet when things aren't going our way. And while I totally agree that persevering is important, there's a big difference between persevering and just doing the same thing over and over and over while seeing the exact same results. And I think there has to be a point where you say to yourself, okay, I've been making an effort, something isn't right, and it's time to make a change, instead of just banging your head against the wall. So the solution, and that is to understand your audience better and focus on things that matter the most. So this is a hard one to give a solution for, because at what point do you either start making a change or decide even that KDP isn't for you? But regardless, it is important to gauge this somehow and act accordingly upon it, because KDP and working online just isn't for everyone, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you get it right, it can be extremely rewarding. And that's why I always recommend people do pursue with publishing online. So when you're feeling frustrated, which I know a lot of people are, and you're thinking about quitting or pursuing something else, I think you need to take a step back and have a think about what you're prioritizing. If your efforts with publishing revolve around your niche, your keywords and things like that, you're possibly missing out on the absolute fundamentals, because people skip over these absolute basics like they just aren't important, when realistically they are absolutely everything. And these fundamentals are selling something that actually looks appealing to your audience, something they actually want. Your audience, they're not buying their book because you found a hidden keyword or a secret niche that no one's heard of before. People buy your book because of the covers and what you have to offer them with your product. Everything else from there is just a means of getting eyes onto your book. So your titles, your keywords that you use in there, your ads, your back-end keywords, that's all about getting eyes on your books. But even if you get eyes on your books that nobody wants, then what's the point? So here's a challenge for you. If you're struggling with KDP, making sales or making regular sales, and you're one of these people that is putting out a lot of books onto the platform, what I want you to do is to think of each listing as a challenge. And this challenge for you is to convert. You want to try and convert as many single people as possible that come onto your Amazon listing for that book. So always have that mentality in mind as you're publishing, as you're creating your books. You want to think, my target audience, I want to try and convert. I want to grab them. I want to convert as many as humanly possible. And I'm going to do whatever I can in the creation process to do that. And that's going to start with an enticing book cover, then a book title that's easy to understand, and then a sales page, which is your description and your A+ content that shows the buyer exactly what makes your book awesome and why they should buy it on the spot. And if we set this type of standard for every single book that you make, you'll find that you won't need 5,000 books where only like 5 or 10 of them luckily make you sales. So just always remember that other humans are the ones that are buying your books. And I know that sounds like really wishy-washy advice, and I know a lot of people just want the keywords and the niches that are going to make you a ton of sales. But I promise you that a more thoughtful, audience-targeted approach will serve you better in the long run. Okay, so that's it for this video. After being on YouTube for 9 months or whatever it is, and reading the comments, chatting with people on Facebook and all those things, these are some of the main issues that I've heard about when people come to struggle with KDP and they lose motivation. So I hope this video has helped you a little bit and got you motivated for publishing in 2022. And like I said at the start of this video, I promise you this is going to be the last type of pep talk video this year. Everything else that I produce this year is going to be 100% actionable content, starting with some never seen before Helium 10 videos and strategies. So if you're looking to take your KDP business to the next level and you want to include a tool like Helium 10 to help you, make sure again that you subscribed and you have your notifications turned on, because these videos, I don't want you to miss them. They're going to be very, very exciting and awesome for your publishing business. And that's it for this video, and that is goodbye from us.